not look
Give me a good draft.
Garner at all, and I think the lack of jungle pressure came back to bite G2. Because when you have a strong jungler that you can consistently rely on, it suddenly feels like you got the wrong shoes on your feet whenever you try and make moves. So we'll have to see if G2 can try and right that here.
Like wrong shoes isn't like they're on the wrong
you got
side.
the right on the
like
left
the right
one
on
and
the,
the left and
okay.
right.
I
Yeah.
thought you like put the they didn't match the outfit or something. Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
that would
be
look
way
pretty
less
awful
comfortable.
as well.
I think both of these are bad scenarios here. As we're going to pick and ban for game number 3, Karma and J4 banned from G2's side, and it's Rise and Nico here. And as you were talking about, yeah, we do still have Ezreal available. We do still have
wie machen wir's?
available, so there are options for upset that he's
Wie machen wir's?
solid on so far.
Was kriegen wir hier?
But can they get everything else to come together? Because I still like Imperios mostly on the tanks. I still like Razork on some of these playmaking junglers he can find stuff on. So Rumble's off the table for Imperios. He will not get that one at least. Ornn? Trying to think like what else is on the table for the top lane.
Yeah. I mean, because Kasante's gone as well. So the Ornn is kind of the premier tank that can still be in that position. Shen, which also is now available.
It has not been banned from either side here, so I'd expect more Broken Blade to pull that one out. Maybe Imperios has been practicing it, but either way, G2 will get first pick here. It's not going to be the Varus.
Vi could be the pick here. Just with jungle pinched already, may be the option. Mid lane also potentially available for them if they want to try something a little bit different, but I do think just locking in a strong jungler for Skewmon is probably your best bet.
Or how about a play?
Rakan First Pick. So, wir geben denen jetzt keinen Seierengel.
Pick for G2.
Okay?
Not what I expected.
Wir geben denen jetzt keinen Seierengel.
Zaire Khan is sure strong, but you have plenty of engage that you can work with. And sure, Rakan's main counter is off the board in the Lulu, but I still think you have answers here for Lost Play if you want to.
Sure, well, let's see what they lean towards, as expecting upset on some of these carries still, like the Sivir. I mean, again, Ezreal would set up a Lospa to roam around, but I still think that they were strongest when it was the 2v2 in lane. Fnatic will be the ones to pick up the Vi. Razork Vi deck.
Yeah. But also steal away the Xayah.
True.
So basically saying, okay, well, maybe you go back towards the Ezreal, but we at least have that point and click to try and lock you down. So Ezreal Rakan, fine, but not exactly like groundbreaking, I feel like, in this bottom side of the maps. So I'm curious exactly what the overall game plan is here for G2.
But it's also like, the moment that you see Xayah as the Rakan, you're thinking, okay, if I don't get that engage off, you're a
ja, das Problem ist jetzt, guck mal, jetzt werden wir outranged. Check dir, jetzt werden wir outranged. Ich sehe es jetzt schon kommen.
As it is the Ezreal locked in.
Ich sehe es jetzt schon kommen, seht ihr? Wisst ihr?
Around the map and leave Hansama alone if there's windows to do so.
And then it just becomes a question of, do you try to match the jungler here for Skewmon, which probably your best bet, but we're also starting to teeter down the list of junglers. So, no, focus on top lane instead. So it is interesting because a lot of the drafts we've seen are hyper-focused on mid and jungle because, you know, those duo pairs can be incredibly important. And as you go further on into the draft, you can start to take away one half of those that are already not banned away. But Blinds LeBlanc?
Yeah,
No,
they're
he's
still
trying to
hovering
figure it
right
out.
now. We'll see what they go for.
Yeah.
They could go for the counter pick for the top lane. We see the Renekton, so giving Imperios that guaranteed counter could be a priority for them, but instead it looks like they're going to go for the mid. So Vital.
Okay, Draft ist fein. Wir dürfen jetzt nicht auf irgendeine Control-Mage High-Range-Pisse reinfallen, okay?
It still works. The theory is still there.
And also into
Ich finde die First Three solid. Wir dürfen jetzt nur nicht in irgendeine OP-Scheiße hier reinfallen in 4-5.
team fighting from G2.
Ich weiß noch nicht so ganz was.
Feels like
Aber wir kriegen das hin.
Fnatic have kind of set themselves up nicely in this draft thus far. You've got Xayah that can play very safe for the engage tools we see thus far for G2. Good engage from the Vi, and great follow-up thanks to this Taliyah as well.
And now with the next wave of bans, they can take away mid laners that could give Taliyah some trouble. So there's a Zoe ban immediately. Whereas G2, I think the same can be said for top lane for them. They're already shown the Renekton, so they could look at these tools in the top half. But no, instead they're looking at the Nautilus, keeping up the pick ban presence there.
Yeah, I mean, it is good into the Rakan because, again, with the depth charge, you follow it back. So it makes sense to try and keep that. The other one I'm not sure on is, like, do you want to get rid of Poppy? Like, how worried are you really about that in the bottom side of the map? And just even though it won't do massive engage in lane, it'll kind of help you out as the team fights come along.
I actually like that a lot here. So let's see if G2 have the same on their radar, because Poppy and Taliyah together would just make any mobility a nightmare. Save for the Ezreal, Arcane Shift can still get you out of a bind there, but at least the front line that's currently showing would struggle with that one. But they can, again, still look at the top lane as well.
So.
Take away some of these counter
So, muss ich mal schreiben. Hawaii? Ja, irgendwie sowas, irgendwas High-Rate. Ich meine, sie bebannen LeBlanc, Zoe, aber die können halt wirklich einen Control-Match hier spielen und ich habe hier sehr Sorgen.
Is the other option that I think you could go for? Still does decently well. And you've got good follow-up then on the Vi, which could actually end up working out quite well. And it looks like we'll have to see if that is, yeah, same thought process here.
Okay, I still feel like Fnatic, they look more comfortable when Empiros is on more of a tank frontliner as opposed to this kind of squishy engage tool. It can set up insane fights, but you don't have a big health bar to work with, and it's locked in. So Empiros is going to have to find those angles.
But I think he has set up, right? You've got multiple ways to try and corral people here with the Vi ultimate, the Weaver.
So, Ken finde ich okay.
And as long as you're able to get Imperial,
Ken finde ich okay. Oh, shit.
It's already there for G2. Like, the Renekton, relatively short
Oh,
range,
shit.
And now with the Maokai as well. Again,
Ja, jetzt laufen wir into Range rein. Beide Carries outrange meine Saya. Beide Carries outrange meine Saya. Mag ich nicht.
Maokai ults back, and it just means that then the follow-up can't really come through. You isolate the Vi.
Ja, Drop finde ich schwierig.
The team stock comp that's here, you've got plenty.
Der Drop ist jetzt sehr schwierig. Denke ich. Deswegen mag ich es. Also ich finde Saya in ihren Spots, in denen sie, also in diesen Spot ist sie OP. Aber ja, das ist es nicht.
So I love the Maokai right now. It's gonna be Alistar locked in for Lospa, so that will be kind of additional engage. They got a lot to go forward here, Dagda.
Ja, genau. Also Saya ist 4-5. Saya ist für mich immer ein 4-5 Champion. Auf 4-5 kann der Champion 100% Games gewinnen. 100%.
So Fnatic, they have tools, but is it going to be enough to actually get through some of the beefier health bars on G2?
I think also crucially it's the ability to play for side lanes, which is the success that we saw them land in game 2. So if Vladdy's able to get control of mid and start to play to sides, I think that's where Fnatic can find that success once more.
Yeah, Caps on the Victor, not known to be a side lane champion. More about that team fight here, and he's going to have to keep himself safe against all these dive threats. The Kennen flank slicing Maelstrom, the Vi cease and desist on top of you. You're a low mobility, high damage mage, and there's a lot of people that are going to have their eyes set on you directly in the middle of their target. So, all right, game 3, Dagda. This series is delivering. Whenever G2 and Fnatic find each other, sparks fly. And today is no exception. We're into game 3 of this best of 3 series.
A brilliant performance from Fnatic in game 2 has now got us into game number 3. And it's all down to the wire. Not exactly what I expected to be saying coming into this series. I thought it'd be a clean-cut G2 victory. But now on the precipice, I think maybe Fnatic fans starting to believe.
Yeah, I mean,
So.
Audience, I mean, just hearing the volume of both sides.
Was soll ich euch sagen, Freunde? Wir sollten Drakes bekommen. Was soll ich euch sagen? Wir sollten Drakes bekommen.
That does make sense. You know what? No shade on the Fnatic fans in case you are louder currently, but I mean the fact that
Wir sollten Drakes bekommen.
even right now means a lot to them as G2 looked so strong yesterday, looked so strong in game number 1, and now they show they can bleed. Fnatic are going to have a weaker level 1 here as Alistar can really only headbutt. They're going to try and just get some CS from range here as Upset will walk up for another one, dodges that missing shot.
Yeah, so traditionally in this kind of situation as Alistar, if you can just get like 1 headbutt off per wave, it means that then you get to the 7 stacks of your passive. So you get a heal per wave, which can help out quite a lot. As you can see, basically Lospa doing the same thing here again and denying any sort of follow-up in case LeBron was going for the engage.
Yeah.
But that's basically how you try and play around this, especially in the early stages where you just are kind of useless.
Yeah, and you can cheekily try and kind of aggro the minions as well to kind of walk back towards your AD carry, but it never really amounts to level 2 first. We do fully expect Hansam and LeBron to still have push, still have lane priority down here, so
Hallo Danny.
eventually up
Gegrüßt.
their level 2 as topside of Heroes is getting
Lost bei Alistar. Also, guck mal, wir haben ja halt Saya auf 1-2 gepickt wegen Vi. Right, aber wären wir nicht super glücklich, hätten wir dann Ezreal auf 3 bekommen, wenn die Saya auf 2 gehen. Also auf 2-3.
Like, if he gets onto someone, that's a dead card.
Weiß nicht.
He may be even a dead top lane, if that happens.
Egal, Born Drakes.
And that shows the confidence of Imperius. I love this matchup. Whenever you see Kennen, I think Wonder was actually the first one that I remember pulling it out last split as the Kennen range top lane with the Ignite. Into Fnatic.
Ja, haben sie den Arsch gepickt.
Showed what you're able to do with that. So, okay, there we go. Imperius learned from Wonder.
Well, we're hoping it's good things he's learned, because it's been a bit hit or miss for Wonder, you know.
Dennis.
Right now it's working out for Impero, so as he gets that wave shoved.
Zaira kann Wei, aber du pickst halt die Wei weg.
Blade actually down about a wave currently, as this next wave will meet.
I don't know.
Yeah, so just kind of back away. Both junglers going for Scuttle Crabs. Wasn't entirely certain if you were going to see some sort of early play from Razor, of course, on top side on the... as the Renekton came back into lane. But it looks like just going to queue over the wall, get a ward down, and reset himself.
Kein PTA aufrennen? Ja, ich weiß auch nicht. Trading Pattern ist natürlich nicht so geil.
Back in from Vladdy, and Cap's actually going to stick around for another wave here because he's got the backup of Lebrov to help him out. This is really huge for Caps because Vladdy already used the TP. If he goes for another reset, Caps should be able to get another wave shoved in, and that's some tempo play for him. So Lebrov, really good, reset timer here to annoy Vladdy, who will now be down some tempo here.
Just wanted to pick up the early Ruby Crystal, and as you said, moving towards mid first, make it difficult for Vladdy to really be able to do anything. So again, I like these early moves from Lebrov, especially when you have an Ezreal who's just going to be fine.
And also, I'm getting from production. Oh, actually.
Sehr gut.
Good chunk there on the Broken Blade, but we looked into Skuma and Maokai stats, because it's not the most...
Ja, der fistet, by the way, auch in LFL. Das war der Stat, wo Danush gesagt hat.
With a 27.3 KDA, that's absurd. That's
OP champ.
Pretty decent, I'm not gonna lie. Even the CSD of 14, 3 camps up on average, fairly decent. So yeah,
OP champ.
Definitely had an uphill battle.
That's crazy.
But you gotta add an L in that column at some stage, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's right now because Fnatic and G2 hold a long history against each other as orgs. Pretty G2 favored, I would say. There's been moments that Fnatic were able to win that one here as bot lane going for a big trade, 1v1 onto each other right now. Is Lebrov able to get back?
Exhaust just in time from Lebrov there on top side to make sure that the...
Ich bin auch immer Fnatic-Fan, in der Bettwäsche aufgewachsen.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a battle of the ages. It's been Fnatic when they won was the last time in spring. Now in 2026, hoping for the same.
Right now, Vaultbreaker from
Schön.
Four, Broken Blade,
Sehr
ignited
schön.
down, and one more tick can get a first
Sehr schön.
to Impero.
Beautiful bait from Imperos. Being like, oh,
Sehr, sehr gut.
go for the wave, don't go at me. And Razork in the bush. Skewmon will be able to get the dragon.
Drake von der Mauke kommt, nicht gut.
You're happy to get this cannon rolling early.
You know, that's vibe punch first right there for all the Riftbound players. You never expect it coming. Just out of nowhere. But Skewmon,
+5 from the bush.
Yeah, it's crazy. Skewmon will make some use of seeing Razork topside, getting the dragon picked up early. So very fast take right there, but still first blood gold onto Imperos. And a great buy. He's even able to pick up the Vamp Scepter. So if ever a trade goes poorly, you can try and heal back up through that with the ranged autos.
Yeah, I mean, the Hextech Gunblade is so nice as well, especially into a matchup where it's all about Broken Blade trying to close the
Big
gap.
Brand Major, yeah.
Just devastates the entire matchup. And an early start.
Caps drops down the Arcane Storm and flashes straight into Razork.
Schön.
Lost was here as well to claim the kill.
Schön.
And Fnatic find a play in the mid lane.
Caps hoping to get a last bit of damage off at the end, but it doesn't work out. Flashless now.
Okay, Verlass war natürlich ungeil, aber es ist okay.
That, I gotta see another look at a replay there to see what he was looking for.
I thought he'd already gone for the Q auto, so I was kind of surprised.
I don't know what cooldowns he had up. Maybe he did have... Maybe he's trying to dodge something. I couldn't quite tell from the angle, but either way, he's going to want that one back as Laspa's now looking to Hansama, force the Arcane Shift over the wall. And Fnatic, in the do-or-die game here, a win means that you take the series, and they are up 1.5k gold.
Incredible start, and again, it's coming from... Oh, hang on, upset.
Barrage on the upset. He's level 5 right now. Hansama hit level 6 first because of Lebrov's roams. Laspa will pop the Ghost and walk away.
Laspa going to try and clear this ward, knowing that he has the Vi in behind him.
Besser als Genji, nicht wie Genji.
Upset also
Und nein.
up from the fruit, and that means that they can head back into lane. So Razork's going to just head back up towards the Wolf camp and then presumably to the top camps where Skewmon...
Ja, erneut. Ein Drake Down gefällt mir schon mal nicht.
Doing a nice job. Still, like for Fnatic, I was about to say that it's no longer just about upset trying to get these leads. It feels like game 2 and game 3, it was leads coming from elsewhere. Razork and Vladdy, and Razork once again off to a great start. But a flashless Talia in the mid lane is the focus for Skewmon.
Yeah, looking for the seismic shove on the Caps. Will not have it to block Skewmon. Has the Weaver's wall to get to safety, so that is ult down. Skewmon finds some value just by making his presence known.
At least gives a little bit of safety sides. His upset stepping forward against Hansama. Lost but very low. But Hansama not having much left in the tank with mana should be able to walk away.
Yeah, has the tier, but hasn't stacked up enough to be able to just stay perma in lane. That is still a resource that he's got to keep his eyes on, as he will go for a reset now. So Upset will stick around, actually. Look to push another wave. This is a cannon wave, so... Oh, Impero slicing Maelstrom onto the wave, and Broken Blade's
Bibi hat Flash, tot.
Impero's must
Oder?
have expected him to have bagged.
Wow. Okay.
Broken Blade actually doesn't have enough. He didn't have Dominus up.
Die Ulti ist fein.
So Impero's kind of just happy to step away from that one.
Ulti ist fein für Wave Clear.
Ward spots out Razork, who is moving across to see Skewmon.
Ich glaube, der hat Gunblade fertig.
Doesn't see him on the Void Grubs. We'll spot him now as one's taken.
He's able to secure one for the team, and now with Vault Breaker charge, Skewmon will actually back away, but then he smites. It's Razork actually that gets
Nicht ulten, nicht ulten, nicht ulten. Fahr nicht drauf rein.
back off. His loss was in the back pocket.
Gut.
Skewmon wants to deny
Gut.
that next grub, but he cannot do so. Razork picks up two.
Brav interrupted
Kurze Zelda, FNC Games Game 1 unter 25 Minuten gestartet.
this tower. Does
Game 2, sehr gutes Early Game. Und gesnowballt.
Brav want to go?
Und geschlachtet.
I mean, if you tank up the turret, you're gonna have to probably have 4 tanks in there as he goes for 1, but Upset doesn't even have to use the ultimate. Doesn't
Guter Play.
flash, and now the flash from Razork going to the mid lane onto Caps again. The seismic shot this time will land, but Skewmon is there.
Passt.
1-for-1 trade, Razork for Caps.
Still, though, you're getting Vladdy,
Fine.
who's actually getting the kills and the push in mid, so Caps is starting to fall further behind. Upset a little low in this bot lane, and that ultimate is available for Hans Sama. Will probably be a trade of ults if he throws it out.
Man, Razork is putting on one of the best performances we've seen from him in a while, though. From that Pantheon game, and now here with this laser focus on the mid lane, as the True Shot Barrage will miss onto Upset, and he should be able to get this back off.
But for the longest time, Razork was talked about as the engine of Fnatic. All of last year, it was how him and Humanoid worked together to take over, and we just haven't seen that same connection between himself and Vladdy. Now, though, he's in a fantastic spot. He has been crucial to this early game success for Fnatic. And a 1k gold lead.
Oh, then it's tough.
On mid. We'll get to see it again. He immediately gets the Q into the flash. Caps can't react. You end up with the ult with the flick back. Unfortunately, though, does end up stunned underneath the tower, which gives Skewmon the kill. But top lane,
Back to live slicing Maelstrom, answered by Dominus. Broken Blade uses his ult, and Impero's press.
Ich bin hier einfach tot.
Well, but it is Impero's winning out on that one. Has the
Ich bin einfach tot, by the way.
So
Ja.
flashing forward, flash response from Broken Blade. Impero's not quite able to
Mistplay, der war tot, Mann.
as the ignite will expire.
Der war davor schon tot. Er hat seinen W gefehlt, weil er keinen Stack mehr drauf hatte auf dem Renekton.
off that early
So ein
lead,
Schwachsinn.
controlling the top
Hat er nicht Ignite? Keine Ahnung.
gold lead.
Dragon spawned right now. It's
Kein Flash auf Skewmon.
here. Vladdy with the flick
Gut.
on to Maokai.
Nächste Q von Vi. Gut.
Stay up and healthy with the passive.
Hallo?
Brav now goes with the quickness, charm up.
Hallo? Oh mein Gott, das ist Losing.
Out as Hans Sama reads
Das ist nicht Losing. Okay, ist winning, ist winning, ist winning. Okay.
and Fnatic get the
Gott sei Dank.
Hans Sama goes down. LeBron is
Okay.
Fnatic are
Okay, gut.
again.
Another win in the river for Fnatic, a dragon for themselves as well. This is looking like Fnatic came to
Good.
play in Game 3.
My goodness, Fnatic have found something special today. Coming back from that Game 1 is a tough task, but they did it in Game 2, and they are continuing it into Game 3. They're getting their first dragon, stopping the stacking of G2. They're up.
Ey, der ist tot, der ist tot, der ist tot, der ist tot. Vlad hat Ulti. Der ist tot, der ist tot, der ist tot, der ist tot.
Skewmon will go for another invade, but now
Gut.
he's cut out of position here as Vladdy.
Sehr gut. Bot dann auch noch tot. Sehr gut.
They get one bot side.
Okay, nicht komplett infeeden. Nicht infeeden. Nicht infeeden.
More on the map.
G2 are crumbling. after
Sehr gut, nicht infeeden.
happy to
Das ist GG, Ruhe.
pressure. It's exactly what we saw in the last
Gegner kommt, ist immer noch ein bisschen besser.
get off to an early lead, and it's play,
Nicht infeeden.
play everywhere on the map.
Oh, Bibi ist auch noch tot. What the fuck?
Must end as
Die sind am Infeeden, by the way. What?
the plan of Broken Blade up on
Ulti doch. Ult doch.
Can he get over with the dice? No, he can't. The slicing Maelstrom locking him down, and Fnatic are just not giving G2 room
Gut.
to breathe. Another kill to Imperos.
This is incredible
Sehr gut.
from Fnatic. I think we might be hearing from an assistant coach.
Die sind krank am Infeeden. Legit krank am Infeeden. Sehr gut.
Crap, Fnatic, this is incredible.
0-2, looking like a disastrous start to their spring split. And their first win, I don't want to cast or curse them. It's too early for that, but it could be against G2, the reigning champs, the team that pushed Gen G, or just beat Gen G. That didn't even push them. That was just a 3-0.
They threw them out.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Pushed them out the building,
Yeah.
more so. Yeah. This was not the expectation coming into today, and Fnatic are gonna really add some excitement.
Sehr gut im Juice. Hat Quest fertig, kann es aber noch nicht, deswegen 700 Gold. Jetzt, wow, meint, es war noch nicht Quest fertig. Ach du Scheiße. Holy fuck, der ist so 1k Gold ahead gleich. Wenn Hans auch Quest fertig hat, ist er 1k Gold ahead. Junge.
Playing away from the bottom lane and enabling Razork. Like we just saw him get that kill on the top side for Imperos. Lospa has also been putting in a hefty workload, and I think that's the part that is most impressive to me, because traditionally, even this split, like we highlighted at the start of the day, it's kind of been upset or nothing.
Yeah.
But this is
Man kennt sie, die Abut.
stepping up and crucially finding successes where they need it to put them into a position where they're 3.5k gold up. They're
Damage, bro. You're so ahead.
into the game. You got another dragon that's spawning right as you're clipping over.
Wir?
He's like
Keine Ahnung.
1.5 to 2 out on spikes.
Gute Early Games. Oh, Caps ist wieder fucked. Was?
Breakers over the wall. Caps
Was?
changes his pathing. Now Razork actually maybe caught
Hey.
out. Nope, he's got his cooldown, so he's able to ball break
Hey.
back. And just backing up Vlad as he shoves in this bottom wave here.
Still Fnatic putting pressure. Eyeing up Lospa because they know they have the pressure boss.
Razork's doing laps right
Yeah, yeah. And there's the finish line.
Now finds Skewmon.
Blood der Ulti.
Gage, Lospa flashing over the wall, finds the combo. Headbutt, pulverize, stun, chain CC. Skewmon just can't get out of there. Now comes the damage. Upset with the autos and upset with the kill.
Was mit Vladis Ulti passiert?
Two for the Zaya. Fnatic find another pick.
Not bad.
Going to bot lane, but top side as well.
Imperos throws out the slicing maelstrom. Cats is coming in, but Imperos might just be able to kill Broken Blade.
Jesus, macht der Damage, Mann.
Get him down, and Imperos doesn't have the damage.
Hat er Flash?
For more as a
Ja.
dive on the bottom side here. Labrov trying to keep
Nicht gut, Shutdown für Victor.
but it's Lospa.
Oh, horrible play.
Shots and a TP coming in now.
Oh, horrible play.
Find the kill top side and defend.
Okay.
I'm shocked.
Meine Kamera.
Went to
Oh.
G2's favor.
Mann.
You don't end up with the kill on top. Imperos tries to escape rather than picking up the kill.
Mann.
And then in the bot lane, I need to kind of look at it again because I just don't know how they didn't get anybody.
Yeah. I mean, I'm also surprised that Imperos' Ignite wasn't able to kill him. I think
Yeah.
that
Also den Cam-Lüfter, der ist sogar dran.
he just thought that it would be enough. Is now
Ah, ich bin zu geizig.
Topside, Broken Blade.
Mach lieber das
He
Fenster
went
auf.
for the proxy wave.
Loslüften.
He's gonna get punished for it. Another kill. Vladdy on a rampage.
At least they get one back at the end of it.
Was ist hier los? Zwei sehr, sehr gute Early Games. Zwei sehr, sehr gute Early Games.
Pressure on the map and made it until Dragon. 2 items now on towards upset thanks to the early kills. This should be where Fnatic can really put their chokehold
Zwei
on.
Items bei Upset fertig.
Vladdy needs
Gut.
to be studied, man. The difference between game 1 and game 2. We see that game 2 stats here. He was crushing Caps. And this time around as well, but we'll have to get back to that because the dive auto Imperos on the bot side. We have the ultimate coming out from Skewmon, and Imperos will just try and get back, clear out the wave. And it's
Ulti die nächste Wave noch? Dann geht er nicht mehr. Schade. Keine Ult ab.
does not have the slicing maelstrom.
7 Sekunden noch.
Up by Caps. Give the gold to the
Gefeedet da. Victor kann das Game carryen. Just saying.
Skewmon getting assist on the back end of that as well. But still, G2, I mean, we've been singing Fnatic.
Ken Flash ist in der Sekunde abgekommen, als er rausgeflasht ist.
Now, top
War davon nicht ab.
They defend bot, they get another pick bot.
Ist mit den Schild dafür. Ist nicht bad.
Just rolling over and taking this lightly. Fnatic will still get push in mid, Ripped Herald as well. So the effective gold should increase on this next play. But they're only on reset now. Dragon is up and G2
Drake is
can
free.
take position in the area. Caps with reset though. Feels like this is Fnatic's play here.
Imperos
Drake is turbo free.
TP on this respawn, crucially. Broken Blade does have TP as well, but it looks like he just wants to get the gold on the top half of the map as Razork will start up the Mountain Drake. It is only the second of Fnatic, so G2 say, we don't need to contest this. Instead, we can play for the other side of the map. They have 3 people heading to that top turret right now, as Vladdy will also start to work on this bot turret.
G2 continuing to trade effectively. I mean, you're going to be a little slow in the Terror tick on bot, so Fnatic should still be able to get it. But with Rift Herald, I think this is where Fnatic, I'd like to see them try and make some sort of play as well. I don't think you can get the full Terror as G2 as Imperos is moving, but doesn't have Flash.
Yeah, Fnatic are actually sending multiple members up there. Vladdy does not have TP, so it's going to be 4 members of Fnatic. Upset sees Labrov. Grand entrance away. And G2 back off.
Vladdy's still pushing the bot lane. Cancelled the reset. It's just like, okay, the call is to keep going, I'll keep going. And now as G2 start to
Sehr schön nicht gegreedet für Tempo.
top side, he'll also respond
Super.
with the recall. Still though, I think you've got moments here with the
Sehr gut.
Rift Herald where you can push forward as Fnatic, and now you're looking at tier 2s rather than just taking a tier 1 in the mid lane.
I mean, they've taken 3 turrets already. So, still Herald up. They can look at really any lane that they want to. They won't be able to use it as that tool to help them get the next dragon, because it should expire before that 4-minute timer. But still, it can, you know, find a lot of creative uses for it. Let's see what they want to go for. As Impero is currently on the top wave, just catching this one in a very, you know, Fnatic side of the Rift position.
Dankeschön.
Tries to push that one out faster, or if he's happy to just slowly farm up right now.
I do think if you're a Fnatic, though, you need to move multiple members onto mid lane to help upset contest this wave. Because you can see, like, G2 have set up Broken Blade and Hansama on the mid wave, so Hansama can catch this nice and early, which is denying Fnatic really any sort of opportunity to push mid and then play for sides or play for a Rift Herald moment. And you're getting kind of a similar story that you were just talking about, like Impero is catching top. But Caps is just doing the same on boss. I think Victor very happy to start to scale up a little bit further.
Yeah.
I think it's Fnatic who need to push the game forward, because in these handshakes positions, it's G2 who kind of get to catch up on the gold.
Broken Blade was not spotted walking in. He pops the Dominus early and will look to go on to Impero. Slicing Maelstroms use teleport in from Vladdy. It's off cooldown now. Slice and dice from Broken Blade. He's trying to get the safety. And in comes the Talia. Seismic Shove not going to be in range, but the
Passt, oder?
will block off the escape path of Broken Blade. He's stunned up.
Passt, oder?
Back into one of Impero's. And Broken Blade's going to
Gut.
regret going for that 1v1. Vladdy was there for the backup.
Big mistake from Broken Blade. Thought that he'd be able to get something, but overextends. And now with a minute until Baron, it's Fnatic who can take control on this top side. Maybe even look to crack open the tier 2 with the Rift Herald.
Here
They're
we
going to
go.
put it down immediately.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about where can you use it? Getting a pick on the top laner. Great time to use Herald afterwards, as they'll charge that one in and take their 4th turret of the game and their first tier 2.
Wasn't sure if they were going to just have Upset stay on mid wave and try and put pressure on towards the tier 2 there as well. So they're going to be happy. Go back. I'm keeping my eye on when that Infinity Edge is finished for Upset, because for Xayah, those 3-item spikes are so good. But there's not really, like, the biggest problem is that with Fnatic, they've accelerated the game incredibly well. But without having, you know, 3-4 dragons to their name, they're kind of in this low point where it's kind of difficult for them to move around the
Wer will nicht AI haben?
Baron isn't up
Für den Drake.
threatness, but as we start to get out into the next 2 minutes, that will really be the focus for Fnatic in trying to draw G2 out from underneath the turret.
I mean, Fnatic don't even need to wait for that next dragon. They can just invade Skewmod.
Gleich raus von Skewmod.
That's flash out.
Gute Plays.
Traded for Razork's ultimate, and they'll get the jungle camp. G2 have so little room to breathe right now. Fnatic are just suffocating them.
Going to take away all the camps and put pressure on tier 2 and boss. But again, Fnatic not fully shifting down towards this bottom side. You can see Caps trying to move from the top off the map in case
NT.
Fnatic overextend on the play. But I think they're just happy to chip away at people.
Grob's even going to witness as the red buff is...
Pressure sehr gut. Richtige, immer richtige. Okay.
Straight in onto the carries as Broken
Ace is winning.
G2.
Empiros ist tot.
Some magic as Hansama gets the first kill.
Caps lebt. Oh wow, wirklich. Oh wow, wirklich. Okay, Upset. Okay, es ist immer noch winning, aber sehr gefährlicher Fight hier. In so engen Space, sehr gefährlicher Fight. Und Nash ist down. Oh wait, Nash ist weg. Nice. Okay. Okay. Immer noch keine Fallhöhe aufbauen. Ich habe hier schon das Game verloren gesehen, no joke. Ich glaube, hätte Caps hier noch ein paar Kills bekommen. Also, Caps kann dieses Game carryen, guys, okay? Das ist das Problem. Wir werden immer noch hart outrange später. Das heißt, wir müssen nicht, man darf es nicht throwen, man darf es nicht throwen. Ich dachte, hier wird dieses Game ist lost. Oder halt, na, wieder playable für G2.
And it's as this then follow-up comes through, they overextend, Hansama gets caught, and that spells disaster for G2.
As we go back to live, though, we do see that the Baron was secured. Multiple members of G2 were there to kind of push back Fnatic, but they don't find a kill on anybody, so Fnatic...
Drake wichtig, Drake wichtig, Drake so wichtig, Drake ist so wichtig.
Baron buff.
Oh, ich hasse es.
Precipice of greatness here, Dag. They're on
Contest. Ja, mach Meter.
It's still a little...
Contest.
to sneak this dragon if they're quick enough, but maybe not quick enough.
Teleport coming in here from Impero.
Okay. Caps nicht tot, ja. Caps ist tot, oder? Oh mein Gott, mistimed, wirklich. Wirklich. Okay, Drake Takeover, gut. Oh mein Gott.
Stop the dragon stack.
The steal with LeBron and Hansama. I believe the smite on LeBron thanks to the unsealed spellbook.
Musst du bekommen.
It's Fnatic who end up messing up the play a little bit. So Imperial's
Musst du bekommen. 5 Minuten, in der Gegner kommt, sind so viel.
to Cap, so Cap's got to step away. And now Fnatic, they're looking to siege on bot lane and make up for the misplay.
Fnatic still have the Baron, so they can still keep the siege going.
5 Minuten mit der Fnatic kommen sind eine Menge Zeit, guys.
Go a little longer. They don't have this earlier Dragon Soul
Silence ist gut.
anymore.
And that's what I was going to say. Like, I'm less convinced that Fnatic are just going to kind of steamroll from this position
Yeah.
if they lose that dragon. Because now if you're G2, you give up one, buy another 5 minutes. Wait until that 10-minute mark, and suddenly this is a less significant lead.
Caps is looking. Oh no, it's actually Rezzark looking at Broken Blade. Thought Caps had the target on his back because he didn't have the zonies anymore. Still no flash available, but instead they'll just crack the tier 2 turret mid, and Fnatic are still working on this tier 2 turret bot.
Wichtig wäre hier irgendwie die Mauerkölde rauszubekommen.
With the seismic shove, trying to get this wave in. They have one cannon peppering this turret, but that shouldn't be enough to actually.
1,4k Nash plays bad. This is fucking horrible, in fact.
Razork moved across to enable Imperials to start to threaten this flank opportunity.
Auf der Wave Progress Mann ist gut.
I think that's where Fnatic, they could try and look for the dive. TP available for Vladdy to come back.
Pina hin. Wie wär's, wenn wir Talia-Ulti zünden? Hier brauchen wir nicht mal gut. Okay. Mit der Schild fast down auch. Gut.
And I think they might be able to take this mid lane turret as well. There's not much left, but
AI fertig, Hut fertig? Fragezeichen bald.
30 seconds left.
Ist gerade gebased, er muss bald seinen Hut fertig haben.
Just gonna back away.
Ja, dieser Drake bereitet mir Sorgen. Dieser gestealte Drake bereitet mir Sorgen.
On the map.
But if you're just joining us, folks at home,
What were you
on
doing?
the stream? Yeah, first off, what were you doing?
Yeah.
Second of all, you might
Do
be
better.
wondering, how is Fnatic up 15-4?
Solcher Gold ist egal. Comp.
Almost 9K
Comp von G2 ist immer noch gut gegen Fnatic Comp.
reigning champs, the team that made it to the finals at first stand. And the answer would be some incredible play from specifically
Ein Choke und das Game kann wieder easy lost sein. Schaut euch die Shutdowns an.
lane versus Caps.
Bloody Upset, einmal tot an Caps oder sowas und das Game ist sehr viel knapper als sein sollte.
You can see on the Vi, he has kind of become the engine again for Fnatic.
Unlosable? Nein, auf keinen Fall nicht unlosable.
Just a case of, when
Sehr losable.
in the car, when the engine is going. And I think that's where, when Fnatic are in a lead, this is where Razork becomes fantastic because he's constantly fishing for plays. He's trying to set up that fight. And when you have the tools to carry afterwards, fantastic. The issue is when you're behind and suddenly Razork has gone in, Upset isn't there to follow, Vladdy isn't there to follow, and suddenly your jungler's dead before they can follow through. But with the GA now completed for Razork, that's another little safety net for him as Fnatic continue to keep the pressure up. A 9
Upset 15.
gold lead. They are in such a good spot to finish out this game.
Most of that being on the jungler Razork. Imperius and Upset also very far ahead. I mean, everybody's ahead. The only one that's, like, for a carry that's closer is Caps, who's made great use of the Zonias, but because he went for the Zonia so early, you're not going to be doing a lot of damage. So they're really happy that they got that Dragon Steel, because that does delay the game slightly, and you hope that Fnatic can't end the game with his next Baron.
Yeah, I think this is the waiting game. It's a minute and a half until both objectives. You're just waiting to see if you can get there. It is Rabadon's death cap completed for Vladdy off the reset, and just finish those final few items that can maybe
Boah.
through. And I think if you're members of G2, I think
Ja, wir gehen. Hut ist fertig, aber mir.
you're going
Boah, können wir einen Bam-Scepter holen? Dankeschön, Upset, danke. Oh mein Gott, perfekt, er kann Gedanken lesen.
well enough.
Okay, viel besser.
Enough to tie it over until we hit the late game.
Viel besser.
But at the moment, it's all hands on deck for G2. They need a bit of a miracle.
Viel besser.
Maybe find some kind of miracle pick. They don't have the greatest comp for it, but like theoretically, Lebrov, if he finds, I guess Razork, but the GA's there. I mean, then I was like, oh, it's the support when they're warding. It's an Alistair. Like, it's really hard to lock that guy down.
I think it has to be basically Lebrov getting exhaust onto Imperios as he goes for the ultimate. Nullify that. Try and get on towards both Vladdy and Upset by some miracle, and maybe then you have enough to try and burst at Imperios or Vladdy as the fight kicks off. But that is a big ask, as already Fnatic starting to crawl towards mid lane. They want to pull this trigger. They know that they're stronger right now.
In a battle of dynasties, Fnatic are controlled.
Bam-Scepter wegen Poke, ja. BT. Hätte vielleicht sogar BT besser gefunden als viertes Item. Komplett als, also. Ich meine, so hat er jetzt 90% Crit, aber ja, wird schon passen.
Remember, we had the stat, they've never dropped a best of 3 in their first week of a split. They have not actually, they've lost
Yeah.
once in the past, but not a full best of 3. This could be history for Fnatic here.
Paul, Dank für den 10. Ne?
As they're going to be on this next dragon, uncontested G2. Not in the neighborhood, but I like this from Fnatic that they're just letting Upset do this while the rest of the team's around the Baron, because worst case scenario is G2 tries to go for the Baron while you get the dragon. It's not even the Soul, so they'll pick it up and are on Soul Point. 5 minutes.
Ja, das hätte so sein sollen. Sick.
G2 are fake pressuring at the Baron.
Mountain gegen deren Poke ist halt schon geil. Nicht ein Auto-Win, auch erneut kein Auto-Win wegen Comp, aber gut.
So now Fnatic know 2 members of G2 are on that bottom side. Could be a Baron to start.
Yeah, Fnatic actually, oh, they do start it up. Razork's hitting that thing right now. G2 just lost their vision around.
Schade, dass die sind, aber Upset ist halt komplett dumm.
Back in base and has the teleport available, and he's not moving. So you have to imagine the Caps will be looking to TP in, maybe looking to pick up, probably waiting for a little goal. Yeah, there's no needless.
Upset ist Razork ist immer, hallo? Also Razork ist immer noch drauf, guys.
Maybe he's just about to complete it. Yeah, there it is. So G2 delay enough for the
Wie viel HP hat der? Der muss so low sein, oder nicht? Stark. Ah ja, richtig. Honestly, super geil gemacht. Razork macht ihn low auf so 8k HP. Und alle von Fnatic machen so, als ob sie nicht drauf sind. Das ist eigentlich voll geil gemacht. Right? Richtig, richtig geil gemacht. Und dann, wenn es halt dieses 5 Sekunden Window quasi ist, wir hauen 5 Sekunden drauf, der ist weg. Move sehen. Honestly, geiler Move. Sehr, sehr geiler Move. Er hat nicht den Baron getroffen. Macht die Wall runter. Hallo. Stark. Mitte Bots, 2 Lanes, Mitte Bot. Ja, wir pingen schon Mitte. Sehr gut. Sehr gut.
Maybe just enough for them to start to crack the base. I was about to say you don't have a huge amount left.
Sehr gut, sehr gut, sehr gut.
But Fnatic feeling like they need to pull around the map. They're not the ones pulling the trigger. Instead, G2 pulled them bot side, they pulled them top side, and these waves are nowhere near their structures. Honestly, if BB gets back up onto the map and you haven't cracked an inhibitor turret, it's a win for G2.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. The Fnatic just sent everyone bot to get the kill and then sent everyone top to push in the wave. I mean, I think they should be able to hit this next one, but yeah, Broken Blade's up in 14 seconds, so Fnatic, they had a window there in a 5v4.
Beat die Fourth, sehr smart.
Get their top laner back.
Yeah, I thought Fnatic would just say screw top.
Sehr smart.
We're just going to crack open the base and put pressure on the end. It's well worth it in that sort of scenario, but now, back in front of the base, what can they do?
They have another opportunity. This still could be.
2 Lanes chillen, ihr werdet immer outranged. Ihr werdet immer noch outranged.
Inhibitor is now exposed.
Unlosable, nope, immer noch losable. Keine Fallhöhe.
And top, the engage tools. They can pull the trigger on either side here.
Wir brauchen eine Vladi-Ulti. Die ist jetzt ab. Vladi-Ulti zum Progress-Mann. Oh, die war... Naja. Reichen uns 2 Lanes, das ist die Frage. Vielleicht müssen wir 3 Lanes spielen, no cap. No joke, vielleicht muss man 3 Lanes spielen. Okay, muss man nicht. Flash drüber mit Upset, okay. Okay, GG. Right? GG. Wow. Okay, brauchen keine 3 Lanes. Ich bin impressed. Ich bin sehr impressed. Ich glaube, das waren die 2 besten Early Games, die ich dieses ganze Jahr gesehen habe von Fnatic. Und die kamen back to back. Ich bin sehr impressed. Well played. Wow. Well played. Well played. GG's. Wirklich GG's. Ich bin so beeindruckt. Ich hab keinerlei Hoffnung gesehen in dem Team. Wirklich, ich dachte, das ist einfach ein totes Pferd. Well played. Well played. Back to back die 2 besten Early Games des Jahres gespielt.